Good morning and welcome to our Sunday morning service, Corona style. You are visiting, if you're a guest, welcome, and you are visiting the Raphael Church in Amsterdam North. And my name is Celeste Yohai. Today I'm going to look at a passage of scripture from Mark chapter 9, beginning at verse 14 through 27. When Jesus, Peter, and James, and John came back to the other followers, they saw a great crowd around them, and the teachers of the law arguing with them. But as soon as the crowd saw Jesus, the people were surprised and ran to welcome him. Jesus asked, "What are you arguing about?" A man answered, "Teacher, I brought my son to you. He has an evil spirit in him that stops him from talking. And when the spirit attacks him, it throws him on the ground. Then my son foams at the mouth, grinds his teeth, and becomes very stiff. I asked your followers to force the evil spirit out, but they couldn't." Jesus answered, "You people have no faith. How long must I stay with you? How long must I put up with you? Bring the boy to me." So the followers brought him to Jesus. As soon as the evil spirit saw Jesus, it made the boy lose control of himself, and he fell down and rolled on the ground, foaming at the mouth. Jesus asked the boy's father, "How long has this been happening?" The father said, "Since he was very young." The spirit often throws him into a fire or into water to kill him. If you can do anything for him, please have pity on us and help us." Jesus said to the father, "You said, 'If you can?' All things are possible for the one who believes." Immediately the father cried out, "I do believe. Help my unbelief." When Jesus saw that the crowd was quickly gathering, he ordered the evil spirit, saying, "You spirit that makes people unable to hear or speak, I command you to come out of this boy and never enter him again." The evil spirit screamed and caused the boy to fall on the ground. The spirit came out. The boy looked as if he were dead, and many people said, "He is dead." But Jesus took hold of the boy's hand and helped him to stand up. I'm going to pause there. This story, I don't know if you've read this story before, but I've often heard people refer to this particular story in the context of dealing with demons and evil spirits and that kind of thing. But something else stood out to me in this story, which I really, really love, but I haven't really heard too many sermons on it. Maybe this will be your first sermon and last sermon you hear on this particular verse. But what actually stood out to me in this whole story was the fact that Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up. And my reaction was, "Oh, that is so like Jesus." Jesus lifted him up. It's consistent with other aspects of Scripture. In Psalm 107, verse 41, it says, "But he raises up the needy out of affliction and makes their families like flocks." So he just doesn't raise them up. He prospers them. They become better than what they were before he raised them up. Psalm 3, verse 3 says, "You, O Lord, are a shield about me. You're my glory. You're the lifter of my head." It's also consistent with the fact that Jesus came for the sick. He came for the broken. He didn't come for the smug who know it all. For those who think, "Oh, please, I don't need you, Jesus. I've got it all together." Jesus would say, "Okay, that's fine. But here's this man over here, and he doesn't have it all together. And he's desperate. He's got a sick son, and he can't fix it. Jesus raises people up, no matter where they come from, no matter who they are, whether they're rich or poor. Jesus lifts people up. It doesn't make a difference to him what their situation is. He doesn't avoid the avoidable, the people that most people will avoid because, whoa, he's unclean. He's got this. He's that. Jesus doesn't avoid anybody. Jesus speaks life into a situation that looks like death. And that was what stood out to me. He said, he kind of, got a little summary of the situation. How long has he been like this? And what does that evil spirit do? And then he says, if you just believe, just believe. And that's another aspect that I wanted to think about, because this father had been dealing with this for many, many years. And that's got to be I have no words for how this father must have felt and the suffering that he went through. But he was desperate. He got to this place where he just is desperate and thinks, if I can just get to Jesus, if I can just tell him and ask him, please help. And Jesus, he's going to speak life into that situation. It's the perfect situation for him. Somebody's desperate. His faith has been even maybe diminished a bit. He's been fighting this for so many years, and there is no change, and I can't change it, and I can't fix it. And he's desperate. It even says that, Jesus said, well, if you just have faith, if you just believe. And I'm sure that hit a nerve inside of him. The man is like, you don't know what I've been through all these years. It has ravaged a portion of my faith. It's getting harder to believe, but I do have some portion of faith. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. And he comes up and he says, I think the most honest thing. He said, Lord, I do believe. With as much as I am able to believe, I do believe. And would you help my unbelief? Help my unbelief. How many of us have had that prayer? How many of us are in situations today where we are, well, I do believe. I'm a Christian. I love you, Jesus. But this situation I find myself in is just too much for me. My faith, I do believe, my faith, as small as it is, it's still there. Would you help my unbelief? And sometimes when we're in situations, maybe it's relational situations, maybe it's financial situations that we're in, maybe it's, our future, maybe it's health related, whatever it is, there comes a point where we recognize, as much as we want to believe more than we believe right now, we don't have it in us. And we need the Lord to help us. Help my unbelief, Lord. I want to believe, but this situation has been going on and on and on. And I need you to help my unbelief that it will change, that I will change, that something will change. And it'll change for the better. It can shake our faith. This father was desperate. He was in tears, and all he knew to do was just to get as close to Jesus as he could and ask him, Lord, would you help my son? And would you help my unbelief? Here's good news. Good news. God helps those who can't help themselves. How many times have you been in a situation where you knew, I can't fix this, I can't do anything to change it? Lord, help. That's always a good prayer. That prayer of admission, Lord, help. And if you help, then I know that things will change, that things will be better because I've called upon the name of the Lord and he has helped me. He is with me. And in any situation you find yourself in, the worst thing is to be in that situation all on your own. You can't fix it. And sometimes an answer or a fix is really saying, Lord, I admit this is beyond my ability. And I need someone. I need you, Jesus. I'm inviting you into this situation, into my financial issues, into my health issues, into my I don't know what issues. But Jesus, I don't want to be in this alone. I can't be in this alone. I need you. In this chapter, when the father said, help my unbelief, he was also saying, I call upon you, Jesus, to get me to a place where I have that faith that can deal with any situation, where I have you in my life in a level, in a way that I don't have right now. And maybe those of you who are watching are in situations that are confronting your faith and your ability to maybe move through the situation and move on. And what I love about this man was he didn't condemn himself for not having enough faith. He just said, Jesus, help my unbelief, because I can't muster up enough faith to heal my son. And what did Jesus do? He healed his son. And even though he looked dead, I'm sure everybody was standing around go, oh, that can't be good. But Jesus says, no, watch this. Takes him by the hand. He lifts him up. And he helps him. And that's so often what we need. Situations, relationships, future looks dead. But we call upon Jesus, and he helps our unbelief, takes us by the hand, lifts us up, and helps us to stand and to walk with us. And that's my encouragement to you who are watching. Remember, Jesus is the one who will take you by the hand in whatever situation you're in. He will lift you up. He will help you to stand. And he will speak words to you. Words that are life-giving words. He will speak to you words that are good, worthy words. Whatever is true and honorable and right and pure, that's beautiful. That's the voice of Jesus. He's all those things. He's not just one of those things. He's all of those things and more. Because that is what he brings to you and your situation. Life. L'chaim. To life. I bless you. I pray that you have a great week and that you see Jesus taking you by the hand, lifting you up, standing with you, being a very present help in times of trouble. God bless you. Amen.